भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिण निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिण। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्वसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। भक्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। यप्रव्रजन्तमनपेत कृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवो विनेदुस् हृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि यस्यानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् आध्यात्मदीपपतितेर्शतां तमोऽन्वन् संसारिणा करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यम् संव्याति सूनुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। तस्मादहं विगतविक्लव ईश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना हि गृह्णामि यथा मनीशम्। नीचो जयो गुणविसर्ग अनुप्रविष्ट भूयेत हि पुमानन्वर्णितेन। Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you. Continuation of the Krishna. So yesterday's discussion, first of all, I want to ask all of you, any reflections based on yesterday's discussion? Or anyone has any clarification to be made based on what we discussed yesterday, vision of variance, begin with. So please feel free to express. To begin with glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, that again, you have to ask, we can ask. सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूष सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धांत रत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकय सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभु लौदुहान्तोदित्य श्री कृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानंद पाठाय प्रेम वर्षक्षरायति सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्री कृष्णाय नमोस्तुमे मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मद्महाधनः निस्तारकमद्भाग्यो मदानन्द नमोऽस्तुते असाधु साधुतादायिन् नीचोच्चतारका आनामञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा हृत्कण्ठयोऽस्फुरा श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Yes, so anyone has anything to clarify, to express what we discussed yesterday? One of the most important sections of Srimad Bhagavatam beginning, the vision of Vedvas, and I came to know that there is even a question, open book question on the same. So you are very much required to be thinking about the vision of Vedvas. So it's very essential. I think Anuj Prabhu has put that question here. Yeah. So this is the question which you have. Unit 3, submission before 9th July. Respond with reference to Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.4 to 8. What are the important lessons one should learn from Srila Vyasdeva's meditation on the Supreme Lord? First question. A. What are the lessons? And then second is, what did he conclude after having his vision of the Lord? What did he conclude? And third is, why did Srila Vyasdeva compile Srimad Bhagavatam? So these are all your open book. These are 3 questions in one question. So it's very essential. So most of it we discussed actually. Only last 8 verse we are going to begin today. So we will continue with our discussion since no one has any comment or any clarification. So we'll complete this section and we'll try to complete till 41 or 42 verses today, Krishna willing, because after the 11th verse there is very much storyline except the prayers of Arjuna, which are very beautiful. Right? So we saw Vedvas vision beginning from verse number 4 and 5. Right? So 4 and 5 were Sambandha Gyan. What did he saw? So he saw the Supreme Lord along with all the avatars, along with his Antaranga Shakti. And he saw Bahiranga Shakti behind the Supreme Lord, which is completely controlled. Behind that, he saw the bewildered jivas, which are sammohitaha, bewildered because of the Maya's effect on them. And then he saw the solution, that is Bhakti Yoga. That is the Abhideya, which was explained in the verse number 6. Anartha Upashamam Sakshat Bhakti Yogam Adhokshaje. So this Bhakti Yoga is Sadhan Bhakti Yoga, by which the anarthas will be diminished, right? It will be destroyed. And he saw that, and he not just saw the medicine or the cure, but he wrote down the medicine also, right? So, Lokasya Janato Vidvans Chakre Satvata Samhita. So, that's what happened in the verse number 6. And then 7th verse is telling us the prayojana of this sadhan bhakti, that is Krishna prema. Bhaktir utpadyate pumsam shoka moha bhayapaha. So the main outcome of practice of sadhan bhakti is prema bhakti, and the anushangik phal or the side effects are shoka moha bhayapaha. But essential aspect of this verse is how do we take the medicine of Srimad Bhagavatam? That is Yasyam vai Shruyamanayam. So hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So or participating in the process of Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam, to be more precise. That is what is the way we should take the medicine. Actually, medicine, knowing the medicine is not even, having the medicine is also not even. Sometimes you have seen the Ayurvedic doctors tell the medicine how it has to be taken, with what you have to mix, and then only it will affect. Not that you have the medicine, it will cure you. How to take the medicine. So that we discussed yesterday through the question answer of how to participate in the process of Shravanam. Hearing is an activity. In English language, you cannot fully translate the whole process of Shravanam. It cannot capture the entirety of the process if you say just hearing. So that's why we discussed what is that Shravan. It has to be done with faith, Shra, that is faith on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, faith on the person who is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, and faith on the process of Shravanam. That is Shraddha. And appreciation for all contents of Srimad Bhagavatam, not just a particular content. Then Varan is the accepting it, or the aspiration to accept with trust that whatever is given in Srimad Bhagavatam is true, as presented by the authentic bona fide speaker. And if we are unable to accept it, then we should inquire submissively with the desire to accept it. Right? And the lastly, Sha, Va, Ana. Ana is, or Na is Namrata, which is actually the trying to keep our spikes of mind aloof and focusing on the process of Shravanam, being prideless and humble while receiving the sound vibration which has all potency. So just as we hear many seminars on, focusing on the chanting of the holy name, how we should hear properly with the right spirit. So same is the case with this actually. Receiving the transcendental sound vibration of Hari Katha or Srimad Bhagavatam is equally important. So that requires this Shra Va qualification to participate. So going further, now verse number 8 will go. So what is the verse number 8? Having told the Prayojana, now you are able to see the screen. So Jiva Goswami is giving the link. So Vedvyas, having realized the Prayojana in his trance, he is understanding the glory of it. That, my Lord, this is far better, far higher than Brahmananda, which is insignificant in front of Bhaktiananda. So he immediately desired that my son should also learn this, because the prayojana, the Krishna prema is far, the experience is far more greater than the bliss of Brahma. That's what, so naturally a father, he gets something nice, he wants to share it with the son. Same is the case with Srila Vedvyas. So that's what happened. So text 8. Sa sanhitam bhagavatim krutva anukramya chatmajam shuka adhyapayamasa nivrutti nitaram munihi. Please read the translation from your book. Just moving the screen.
Yeah. We can read from number 15 today. Sandeep Prabhu, if you can start.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation. The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukadeva Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization.
Yeah. So naturally he wanted to share it with his son. But what kind of son? Son is not just, ordinary person. No. He was Nivrutti Nitaram. He's completely on the path of self-realization. Or completely purified on the level of Atmaram, actually. So that's what actually is the stature of Shukadeva Goswami. That's why he taught him. He selected him. So that is one point. It is not just the bodily attachment to the son of Vedvyas. No. Son of the Vedvyas, we saw earlier that how detached the Sukadeva Goswami was. in his prayers. No, earlier you saw in the 3rd chapter, right? Or 4th chapter to be more specific. But he was running and he was naked and he was seeing towards some ladies who were naked taking bath. But for him, it was everything one. So there was no effect on him. That kind of Nivritti Nitaram Shukadeva Goswami. So he taught him. So here one essential word comes, Sa Samhitam Bhagavatim Krutvanukramya Chatmani. Krutvanukramya means he corrected and repetition, Prabhupada is saying. So means he had written Bhagavatam earlier, but he updated it, enlarged it, revised it according to the instructions of Narada Muni. So just as Krishna's appearance in this world is sufficiently complex to understand. Like Krishna manifested in jail of Kamsa also, he manifested in Nanda Gokulam also, and then they got merged, and so books are written on the appearance of Krishna. But Janma Karma Chame Divyam, it's very divine, it's very spiritual. It's not like our Janma. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam's manifestation in this world is also not so simple. It's quite complex. So in this purport, Prabhupada writes actually that there are many different opinions about compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So first we will see exactly what is how the Bhagavatam was compiled, when it was compiled, and when it was spoken, right? So there is something called compilation which was done by Srila Vedvyas, seeing the future, right? And there is Bhagavatam being spoken by Shukadeva Goswami, which was already written by Vedvyas previously, seeing into the future, right? So these both things will see the sequence of events very clearly, right? So Srila Prabhupada writes, before going there, you see, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, 2nd paragraph, that first Vyasa made the abbreviated scripture about Bhakti, but on the advice of Narada, he rearranged it, purified it, giving most prominent to Bhakti, to Krishna. Narada gave instructions after disappearance of Krishna and before Parikshit punished Kali. So this is the events. So we have to understand when Narada gave instructions, because after Narada gave instructions only Vyasdev saw in Samadhi, and then he wrote down the remedy for all the conditions. So this is the key statement which clarifies when exactly it happened, right? So Srila Prabhupada in his purport also says that. You see that, yeah, please, Srimad Bhagavatam, yeah, it is made for, yeah, here. Among the mundane scholars, there is some diversity of opinion as to the date of compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a lot of controversial opinions. So what is our opinion or what is the Acharya's opinion? We will discuss. So Prabhupada in his purport gives some hints actually when it was written, but he doesn't say fully. So what he says, according to revealed scriptures and astrological calculation, here Bhagavatam, it was compiled before disappearance of King Parikshit and after disappearance of Krishna. So Prabhupada gives some indications, and then he says at the end, the synopsis of Bhagavatam was given before the detailed description under instruction of Narada. So what is exactly happening? Let us see the sequence of events. So I would request one devotee to read the sequence of events. Just a minute, just full screen. So first of all, we have to understand that Bhagavatam was written earlier when Vedvyas was feeling despondent, seeing the condition of the people of age of Kali. So it was written before, but that was abridged version. But After that, when Narada instructed him, he rewrote that. That's what Anukrama means. Revised it, enlarged it with the according to instruction of Narada. This is the core thing has to be understood. And now we will see what are the sequence of events. How, yeah. This we saw. Yeah. So please read this. One devotee can read. These are the sequence. Please pay attention. It will be clear if you just simply read and pay attention. How Bhagavatam manifested. Yes, please read.
Sequence of events regarding manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam, writing by Vyasadeva and discourse by Sukadeva Goswami. Vyasadeva's wife remained pregnant for 18 years, does not come out on Vyasadeva's promise.
Yeah, so this is the first thing which we hear, right? Vedvyas. So Vedvyas' wife remained pregnant. He did not come out. So what did Vedvyas do? Yeah.
Personally invites Krishna from Dwarka to promise him to not get affected by Maya. Brahma Vaivarta Purana.
So this story comes in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, where Shukdev Goswami is telling, I will not come in this material world because I will get affected by Maya. So Vyasdev says, I will promise you will not get affected. He said, your promise will not work. Only Krishna, who is Daivi Hesha Gunamahim Amma Maya Duratya. If he promises, then I will come out. Then Vedvyas goes to Dwarka personally. So Krishna is present at this moment in Dwarka. So he brings Krishna there, and then Krishna promises him, and then Shukdev Goswami, yeah, read. Yes.
Works and runs, and Vyas runs behind, unable to catch. Dev Goswami lives as Brahmavadi. He is out for many years.
Yeah, so he runs behind, and that episode you have heard in the previous chapters, right? So he has left now, and he was not fully devotee that time. He was Atmaram stage. So he leaves. Then Krishna leaves the planet, right? After that, so many years he's out. Yeah, then please read.
Tendency of irreligion, even among followers of religion. Adherence of scripture, power of Kali manifested.
So when Krishna left, the Kali Yuga began, right? So the effects of Kali Yuga became evident in the society, especially the Brahmanas and those who are following the religion, right? They only degraded. So that was seen by Ved Vyas, right? Yeah, please read ahead.
Vyasa, out of compassion, feels dissatisfied seeing this situation.
Yeah. So he felt dissatisfied. So these are all references which you can see if you wish. Yeah. Then
Vyasa compiled all Vedic literature along with abbreviated Srimad Bhagavatam. Dissatisfied with your texts.
so you have heard these chapters in chapter 4, chapter 5, right? So he wrote all Vedic literature. Rather, he put in writing. There was only one Veda, Yajurveda. He broke it into 4. And then he wrote Mahabharat for Sri Suja Bandhunam. Then he compiled Puranas. And in that there was Srimad Bhagavatam also, right? And then he wrote Vedanta Sutra also. But still he was dissatisfied. And he started introspecting. And then Narada appears. Yeah, please read.
Narada instructed Vyasadeva after disappearance of Krishna and before Parikshit Maharaj punished Kali.
Yeah. So this is the key statement which I said. So Narada instructed Vedvyas. So that is after disappearance of Krishna and before Parikshit Maharaj has punished Kali. So Parikshit Maharaj is already there, but he has not yet punished Kali. So this incident is happening by that. Yeah. Further.
Vyasadeva Samadhi and wrote, compiled 18,000 verses Srimad Bhagavatam as we Trikalagna predicting future events, Sridhar Swami.
Yeah. So Vyasdev in his Samadhi, he wrote the Bhagavatam, which is updated, enlarged, revised edition, which is 18,000 verses, which we are studying right now. So how he could write what is going to happen in future, that Shukdev Goswami will speak to Parikshit, when Parikshit will be cursed, etc. Because he was able to see into the future. And then Sudha Goswami is going to speak. So this is all he knew because he being avatar of Lord and he was Trikalagni. So this is what Sridhar Swami says. Yeah. Going further.
Vyasa sends two servants with verses, taught them to tell to Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami is attracted and returns back.
So that Shukdev Goswami who had left many years back, so Vyasudev, as we see in future 2-3 verses, that Vyasudev could see only one qualified person to receive this Prayojana, Krishna Prema. He had many qualified disciples, but he felt none of them is qualified. Only Shukdev Goswami is qualified, so he wanted him to come back. So he sent his 2 disciples with few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's how that agitated mind of Shukdev Goswami and he came back. Yeah. Please read ahead.
Shukdev Goswami gets attracted and returns to learn Srimad Bhagavatam. Parinishvitopi Nairgunyo Uttama Shlokar Lalasa stays in Vaishnavas.
Yeah. So this we'll see in today's verse. And then what happened? Read ahead. 2-3 points. Yes, please.
Mahabharata, Parikshit garlands Samikrishi and gets cursed to die. He leaves kingdom.
Yeah, further.
Parikshit Maharaj hears Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami, where he sees at end pointing to Shukdev Goswami that
Sut Goswami.
Sutta Goswami that he will speak this to Shaunakadi Rishi. This narration of
Sut Goswami, Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj.
Shukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj is predicted by Vyasa before Sridhar Swami.
Last point. Sutta Goswami speaks Srimad Bhagavatam to Shaunakadi Rishis. So that edition is what we have, right? So this is how Srimad Bhagavatam manifested in this world. So just as Krishna's appearance is difficult to grasp, similarly Srimad Bhagavatam also has little complex manifestation, right? So Prabhupada gives all these things in few lines actually. So to clearly understand, we have referred some Acharya commentaries. Going further, text 9. Shaunakavacha Tavainivritti Nirataha Sarvatropekshako Munihi Kasyava Bruhitamita Atmarama Samabhyasat. Yeah, please read the translation.
Realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature?
Yeah, so Shaunak Rishi is getting question that actually they knew Shukdev Goswami. That Shukdev Goswami doesn't even wait in anyone's house. He's completely detached. How is it that he took so much of effort to study this big Srimad Bhagavatam? Imagine for Shukdev Goswami category consciousness person, here it is told that he took trouble to undergo such vast literature. So why did he do that? So certainly for us also it will not be so easy. But still we should also take this trouble of going through the Srimad Bhagavatam. For Shukdev Goswami it is difficult. So what to speak of us? So why did he take trouble? So that is answered in the further verse. So Prabhupada is writing that how Atmaram, like the verse is saying, he was Sarvatra Upak Nivritti Nirata, completely on path of self-realization, and he is situated there. Sarvatra Upekshako Muni. He was completely indifferent. Why did he take? Because there is higher pleasure in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Prabhupada takes the point. That there is standards of pleasures are there. So actually in Taittiriya Upanishad, all the standards of pleasure are compared actually objectively. So we don't have time to go through that. But from Manushyananda to Indrananda to Prajapatyananda to Brahmananda to Bhaktiananda, these all comparison are given objectively. And we can understand that actually Brahmananda itself is very, very higher than us. What is Manushyananda? But Shukdev Goswami at the level of Brahmananda also, could go to higher because of higher standard of living. So that's why Srila Sukadeva Goswami had already attained that stage. Still, he was attracted to undergo the trouble of studying Srimad Bhagavatam. This means that Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate study given for Atma Ramas who have surpassed all the studies of Vedic knowledge. So can you imagine what is our fortune that we are able to get, because of mercy of Srila Prabhupada in English, this highest literature. Although our level is nowhere close to Sukadeva Goswami. So, but having said that, we should also be inspired to take this trouble of studying Srimad Bhagavatam, knowing the importance of it. Right? So going further. Now, what Jiva Goswami says is that now Vedvyas is answering, or Vedvyas or Sud Goswami here is answering the question, telling the glory of Prayojan or clarifying the realization, saying that see, Krishna's qualities are so glorious. So clarifying the realization of Vyasa, which he had attained during his Samadhi, the Lord has quality of attracting Atma Ramas also. So that is what is told in the next verse, which is a very famous verse, which is spoken by Suta Goswami to tell how all attractive Krishna is. And this very verse is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 60 different ways. So Suta Uvacha, Atma Ramascha
Munayo Nirgrantha
Urvantyahai Tukim Bhaktim Ambhuta Guno Harihi. Please read the translation.
Suta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmarams, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses in transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls.
Yeah. So this verse, very, very essential verse. Prabhupada writes a big purport based on Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 25, I think, of the Leela. Sanatan Goswami Shiksha, Sanatan Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I heard that you explained 18 times this verse to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then Mahaprabhu explains 60 times, 60 different meanings of the same verse. Right? So Prabhupada takes the points from there. So we will not go into those details of the purport, but we will try to understand the verse. So Atma Rama is one who takes pleasure in Atma. So Atma has 7 meanings, beginning from body to the soul, and so many other meanings which you can see in the purport. So Munayo, Nirgrantha api urukrama. Munayo means those who are sages, those who are inquisitive. Munis. Nirgrantha means there are different meanings of Nirgrantha. Nirgrantha means, here Prabhupada is saying, free from all bondage. So essence of bondage is Grantha. Grantha is the knot of false ego. So those who are free from knot of false ego are also called Nirgrantha. Another meaning of Nirgrantha is those who are beyond Granthas. Granthas means scriptures. So scriptures speak about rules and regulations. So those who have gone beyond the rules of regulations, in terms of, rules or regulations are there for uplifting our consciousness. But after uplifting consciousness, one need not follow the rules and regulations at all. Like Sukadeva Goswami is walking naked, like that. So Nirgrantha, that is another meaning of Nirgrantha. Those who are beyond the Granthas of rules which prescribe the rules and regulations. So Nirgrantha also means that those who are completely not having, like poor, like, Mrigari kind of people. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita also explains. So such people who are Atma Ramas, who are Munis, who are Nirgranthas, you can put and or everywhere, so you will get many meanings. Api, such people also, Purvanti Haitukim Bhaktim Urukrame. Urukrame means in the Supreme Lord, who is performance of very exalted, very extraordinary activities, they perform pure devotional service. Ahaitu bhakti. Kurvanti here means, Kurvanti is parasmay, not parasmay pada, but atmane pada. Means any activity we do, if we are doing for others, it is called parasmay pada. And when that activity is done for oneself, it is called atmane pada. So Kurvanti is in atmane pada. Means these great souls also perform bhakti for their own benefit. Not that they perform bhakti for others. No, for their own benefit. Guru. Itham bhuta guno harihi. Such are the glorious qualities of Hari. Such are the all attractive Hari. So that is the point which is told in this verse. The glory of Krishna or glory of Krishna's qualities. That it attracts anyone from cow to Atmarama. Everyone is attracted to Krishna's qualities. They want to practice pure devotional service. So that is what is the meaning of this verse. So we'll see few points in the purport. I covered many of the points. So you can read in your leisure. Yeah, this is all Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So as I told you, for every word there are multiple meanings. So Prabhupada writes this from quoting Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, see this already I explained. Means it is for, means they kurvanti for the purpose of pleasing the Supreme Lord. That's all. Unalloyed devotion means to the Lord without desire for above mentioned personal benefits. So when it said kurvanti, kurvanti is for the pleasure of Lord. Ahaitu kim bhakti. Means here I said mistakenly earlier that they practice, they endeavor to practice pure devotional service to please the Lord. That way. Like for example, yajna, if a Brahmana does yajna, so Parasmay Pad means he is doing yajna only for the sake of others. Atmane Pad doing yajna means he is doing yajna for himself. Going further. Yeah, so practice of devotional service in the material field is of 81 different qualities. And above such activities is the transcendental practice of devotional service, which is one and is called sadhan bhakti. So unalloyed devotional service of the Lord progresses in different stages. So what are these 81 types of bhakti? So this you will study in 3rd canto, 29th chapter in detail. But suffice it to say now, I will just show you what are these 81 types of bhakti. So many of us know about Navavidha Bhakti, right? So Navavidha Bhakti is nothing but Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. So when those Navavidha Bhaktis are practiced by the practitioner in 3 modes, they become 81 types, right? So 9 into, so you will see here in the slide, that's how they become 81. So see, these are the angas of bhakti and these are the 3 modes. Actually what 3 mode does is according to our intentions, the 3 modes affect us and they create further intentions and desires. So if we have desires of competitiveness or cheating or destruction of others, that is tamoguna, and then if we practice this Shravanam Kirtanam, then it will come under bhakti mixed with tamoguna. Or if we have desire for fame and opulences or sense objects or resources, then it will be rajoguna mixture. And if one is doing out of duty for offering results to Krishna or diminishing his sin, then it is under sattva-guna mixture of bhakti. So these are 91 types, different types, 81 types. Sorry. So these are all are practiced on the level of material field only. And after that, and above such activities is the transcendental practice of devotional service, which is one and called sadhan bhakti. So when we strive to practice anna vilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullena krishnanu shilanam bhaktirattam, when we are consciously practicing keeping this verse in our heart, then that is transcendental practice. Otherwise, it is practice on material field. So it progresses surely, because bhakti in itself is progressive, purifying. So that's what is told here, Prabhupada. And this already I told that Krishna's Ittam Bhuto Ganam. The attractions are so strong, Krishna's qualities, that no one wants to exchange them for material enjoyment, mystic powers or liberation. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashan. Krishna Bhakta are Ataiva Shant. There are innumerable qualities of Lord, and one is attracted by one quality while another is attracted by other quality. Right? So Prabhupada gives examples of 4 Kumaras, Shukdev Goswami. They also got attracted. Such Atmarama. This proves that the qualities of his pastimes have nothing to do with material activity. Although he might be dancing with girls, or he might be stealing butter, but his all actions are on transcendental plane. And then he tells about meaning of Hari. That's it. Going further, now the last verse in this section is depicting the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So please read the 2 links which are given by the Acharyas for the next verse. Okay, I think you are not able to see the. Yeah. I think now you are able to see. Please read.
By the mercy of Narad, Vyas realized this was created. By the mercy of Narad, Vyas realized the sweetness of Krishna's qualities. By the mercy of Vyas, Sukdev realized the same sweetness even more. That is explained in this verse.
So this is one link where we understand how the Bhagavatam can be understood only by receiving mercy of authentic person like Narada, Vyasa, Shukadeva, and Shukadeva gave mercy to Suta Goswami. So that is the tradition of experience of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is told in this one. What is another link? That is first one. Please read that.
In order to control him, Vyas taught him Bhagavatam, which produced nothing except attraction to Krishna, making him near particular verses which reveals Krishna's great qualities. Vyas agitated his mind. Then he made him study the full Bhagavatam. This shows the greatness of Bhagavatam. Glory of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's how this section is ending. It is establishing glory of Krishna Prem as Prayojan in verse 8. In verse 10, it is establishing the glory of Krishna's qualities, the supremacy of Krishna's qualities. And verse 11 is telling the glory of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which tells us about that Krishna and that process of Krishna Prema. So that is glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Harer Gunakshipta Matihi Bhagavan Vadarayanihi Adhyagad Mahadakhyanam Nityam Vishnu Jana Priyaha. Yeah, please read the translation. Srila Sukadeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasdev, was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it is written that Harer Guna Akshipta Mati, means his mind was agitated by hearing the qualities of Krishna. So it is said that Vedvyas sent 2 disciples with some verses. So there was beauty of Krishna and there was mercy of Krishna. So when he was already in Samadhi of Atma Gyan, but his Samadhi was broken by hearing about the quality and beauty of Krishna. So Hare Guna Akshipta Mati. Then he broke his Samadhi and came to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. That can I hear more things? So he said, Are your father only wrote this Kapti. So he took that difficulty to study Srimad Bhagavatam. he heard Srimad Bhagavatam, rather he was taught by Ved Vyas the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he became Nityam Vishnu Janapriyaha. So earlier, being Atmarama on the stage of Atmagyan, he would prefer to be alone, like Munis and sages. But when he became devotee, then he would want to be in association of devotees to discuss Bhagavatam. So this is what happened to Shukadeva Goswami. So this is the end of the answer to the question which was asked in the verse number 9, right? How is it that Shukadeva Goswami studied this? So his samadhi was broken actually by the Krishna's qualities, and then he took the project of studying Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing from it, right? So that is what is told. So this is how this section gets over. So, so this already I told. So see what he thought after hearing the glories of Krishna. My intelligence is unfortunate because though the Lord's qualities are so sweet, up till now that intelligence has been uselessly in realizing Brahman. So I was my intelligence was fixed in Brahman, and I was so unfortunate. That's how he is thinking, like that. So that's why. So Brahma Vaibhava Puran story I already narrated to you. Yeah, please read this yellow.
Yashika.
Yes.
Practically, he was thrown from the impersonal conception of the absolute thinking within himself, that he had simply wasted so much time in the devoting himself to the impersonal feature of the Supreme. Or, in other words, he realized more transcendental bliss with the personal feature than the impersonal.
Yeah. So see, Prabhupada is echoing the Acharya's commentary. What was the thought of in mind of Shukadeva Goswami, right? So this is how it is showing. This already I explained that. The impersonalist doesn't want to mix with devotees. Devotees don't want to mix with impersonalists. So when he became devotee, he wanted to mix with devotees to discuss Krishna. Gautam is thus completely answered. Right? So this is what is very, very important. So this Jiva Goswami says, this shows the greatness of Bhagavatam. It has been shown that speaker Shukdev and Vyasdev had the same heart. Thus, according to the heart of the speaker, one should study meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam at all times. There is no other way. If one studies in another way, one will be led astray. That is indicated. So that's how we have to study Srimad Bhagavatam and hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a right source, who is trying to give message of Shukdev Goswami, not what he wants to give. That's what is indicated here by Jiva Goswami very clearly. Now going further, so now we will go quickly. Maybe if so, this is the section which was important. So we took good amount of time, almost like more than 2.5 hours for discussing this section. So I hope your open book question, you will get many indications to answer the 3 questions which are written in your open book. What are the lessons? Why he wrote down Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. Those are the questions. So we discussed them at length, right? We discussed lessons. We discussed why he wrote it down and what was his system of writing also. So now the rest of the chapter is a storyline. So we will go very quickly. In case anyone has any question or clarification in terms of what we discussed till now, maybe for a few minutes we can have discussion if anyone wants. Otherwise, we'll go to the next section. Yes, anyone has anything?
Prabhu,
Yes.
what did he conclude after having had his vision of the Lord?
That is the third thing which is asked. No?
Second thing. Third thing is
What-
why he compiled.
What did he
Conclude after
Just,
having had his vision of the Lord.
Yeah. So that is the verse number 6. So vision of the Lord along with his internal energy and external energy was explained in verse number 4 and 5. Okay. After that he concluded, what he concluded is the next verse. That the living entities are affected by anarthas because of Maya. So I need to write, he saw the Bhakti Yoga as the remedial measure. And then he wrote down that. That's the verse. So that is what is his conclusion after seeing the Lord. Because 4th and 5th verses are telling about what did he saw. Right? Then he saw the medicine of Bhagavad, medicine of Bhakti, sadhan Bhakti. So that's what we can say. Now that is the essential conclusion. And he wrote it down.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, fine. So we'll go to now next section, which is more or less a storyline. So we'll go. There are nice prayers by Arjuna. So we'll go a little quickly here because we want to give proper time for Kunti Maharani's prayers also, isn't it? So we'll go a little quickly here. So see the link of the next section. Now the question of how the great yogi like Sukadeva Goswami became inclined to hear Srimad Bhagavatam has now been answered. That is answered, right? And the first question which was asked about inspiration to write the Srimad Bhagavatam, where it was written, how it was written, that was also answered in this last 4, 5, 6 chapters and 11 verses of 7 chapters. So first verse among the 3 questions is completed. Now they are going to the second question. Now the other question of how Parikshit heard the Srimad Bhagavatam while fasting till death and other topics such as his astonishing birth will be explained. So that question answer begins. So they asked about the Adbhut Janma and Karma of Parikshit and why did he fast to death? That was asked by sages, Shaunakadi Rishi. That answer will begin from verse number 12 and it will go on till chapter number 15 or 16 actually, till he is punishing Kali. Okay, so his birth happens in chapter number 12. So before that, he is telling the background story. So from verse number 12 till chapter 12, where the birth happens, and after birth, his activities are explained from 12, 13, 14, etc. So before that, the events leading to his birth are explained from this particular verse till chapter number 12. Right? So let us go further. Text 12. Parikshitodha rajarshe janma karma vilapanam samstham cha panduputrana vakshe Krishna kathodayam. Yeah, please quickly read the translation.
Suta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Shri Krishna and topic of the birth, activities and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst kings, as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the son of Pandu.
Yeah. So sages have inquired earlier that, my dear Parikshit, please explain about these activities of Parikshit only if it has connection with Krishna. Otherwise, don't explain. So that's why Sudha Goswami, remembering their interest, he is telling, now I will tell you about Parikshita's Janma Karma and his Vilap, and he is going to fast till death, through which Krishna Katha will take birth. No? Vakshe Krishna Kathodayam. So my dear sages, as per your desire, I am going to explain you. So Prabhupada takes this word and explains entire purport on the essence of having the central point of Krishna in everything, all the activities and all the discussions. How that Krishna's presence in the discussion makes it transcendental. Be it political, be it fighting. If Krishna is there, we discuss it because it is transcendental. But we don't discuss Panipat Yuddha, but we discuss Kurukshetra Yuddha because of Krishna. So all these points Prabhupada explains. So I just gave you briefly what Prabhupada says quickly. Yeah. So the special significance of Purana is that the activities of Lord are the central and not supplementary historical facts. So this is what was happening in all other Puranas. The Krishna's activities are mentioned in Puranas also, but still Vyasa was chastised by Narada because you are writing Krishna's activities as supplementary facts. No, it has to be central point. So that is the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Krishna Bhakti is central point. Srimad Bhagavatam is thus recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a spotless Purana. That's why it is spotless. So what less intelligent person go? They want to release directly 10th canto. But no, real devotees will go through Bhagavatam very systematically. They will not try to jump, right? So see the important line Prabhupada is writing. No one should try to go into the matters of 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purport of other 9 cantos. So it's a very, very essential statement which Prabhupada is making here for all of us. That don't just be less intelligent and just hearing about Krishna Leela. Yeah, it's so nice, very nice. Stealing pastime, dancing pastimes, Vrindavan explanation, very good. That's nice. It's not a problem. But what is Prabhupada telling us here? He is telling that we have to first go through 9 cantos. But how much we have to go through? Not just read, not just study, but thoroughly understand 9 cantos. And not only thoroughly understand 9 cantos, he is going one step ahead and telling us that one should thoroughly understand the purport of other 9 cantos before going to the 10th canto subject matter. So that's why, Prabhus, it's very essential. I congratulate all of you that you have taken out difficulty to undergo this course. But this is what Prabhupada wants from us. That try to thoroughly understand the purport of other 9 cantos before approaching Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna will never become central point of our life. Because it explains us who is Krishna before telling us the pastimes of Krishna. So that's why this is very, very essential. That's why Prabhupada says at the end, the devotees and the law, this is about Krishna Kathodaya. So what is there in first 9 cantos? Krishna's devotees Kathas are there. The devotees and the Lord are interlinked. They cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha topics on the Lord. So that's why we should also understand that all 9 cantos are also Krishna Katha only. Srishti Leela is also Krishna Katha. All other avatar Kathas are also Krishna Katha only. So that's why we have to thoroughly understand the purport of 9 cantos. Going further, text 13, 14 together. So now he is directly zooming into at the end of the battle. Okay. So as to come to the birth of Parikshit eventually in the chapter number 12. So he is going at the end of battle. What happened at that? Please read the translation.
When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations, and when the sons of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, the son of Dronacharya, Ashwathama beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered the heads as a prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of the heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least.
Yeah. So basically he is telling what happened after the battle. So he beheaded the 5 sleeping sons, right? So interestingly, Srila Prabhupada doesn't speak about the storyline at all, but again he goes back to tell us the importance of Krishna. So Prabhupada tells us that there are 2 kinds of Krishna. One is spoken by the Lord, that is Bhagavad Gita, and one is spoken about the Lord, that is Bhagavatam. So both are Krishna Katha. So externally speaking, here Kurukshetra Katha is beginning now in this particular verse and ahead also. So, but they are all Krishna Kathas. So please read very essential italics. Actually, there are very few places where Prabhupada has made italics to emphasize the importance. So please read this, Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya desired that all who are born in India seriously understand such Krishna Kathas and then, after full realization, preach the transcendental message to everyone in all parts of the world. That will bring about the desired peace and prosperity of the stricken world.
Yeah. So which verse Chaitanya Prabhupada is quoting? Bharat bhumite manusya janmaya janma sarthak kari karo paropar. That is what I felt that this is what verse Prabhupada is telling. Because those who are born in India, they should seriously understand such Krishna Kathas. So seriously understand what is given in Bhagavad Gita, seriously understand what is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, and after full realization, you preach. So in this particular context, Prabhupada is telling you realize also. Elsewhere, Prabhupada says, okay, you just repeat what I have said. So that is service actually. But actually, the real preaching will begin when compassion will awaken in our hearts. That's what full realization, preach the message. And that will bring about desired peace and prosperity. So yesterday we were having discussion, right? What is happening currently around? So many things are happening. So what we are supposed to do, Prabhupada is telling us very clearly what we should be doing. So we should try to seriously understand this Krishna Katha. And there is oceanic depth to this Krishna Kathas. Even Bhagavad Gita, when I did this course of Srimad Bhagavatam in Govardhan Eco Village, along with Radhesham Prabhu, I felt very fortunate, but I felt that I didn't read Bhagavad Gita only. Like that I felt. So they are very, very deep and profound. So we have to really seriously try to understand them if we really want to do some paropkar, beginning with ourselves and then others also. So Prabhupada is giving us assurance that that will bring about the text 15. Please read the translation.
Draupadi, the mother of 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the miscarriage of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her heart, in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her thus.
Yeah. You continue reading text 16.
O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of the dead Brahmana after beheading him with arrows from my Gandiv bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head.
Yeah. So this is our Kshatrani, which is quite affected emotionally at a particular moment in her life. She got pacified by such words. That is the next verse. Yeah. Please read the translation. Text 17.
Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Ashwatthama, the son of his martyr teacher.
Yes. So this is how actually you see Draupadi's emotions here. But her actual heart will come out when Ashwatthama is brought in front of her. She is the first one to tell that, don't kill him, don't punish him, because so we'll see that the real heart of Draupadi, Vama Swabhava, will come out. The emotional outburst was there, and she was pacified by Arjuna in particular words. So Arjuna will take, so we can understand the depth of heart of Draupadi, Arjuna, and all other devotees here in this particular incidents which is being discussed. So Achyuta Mitra Sutaha is a very special address to Krishna here. So, or rather Arjuna, who is guided by infallible Lord as a friend and driver. Achyuta, who is his friend as well as his Suta, his charioteer also. Text 18. Please read the translation.
Ashwatthama, the murderer of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva.
Yeah. So Suta Goswami here is telling that how he was running. So he gives one drishtanta of just as Brahmaji was flying, running away from Shiva. So the story is given by Prabhupada. There are two stories. If you say the Yatha Kaha, then Kaha means Brahma. So Brahmaji, when he ran behind his daughter, that time Lord Shiva tried to attack him because he was doing inappropriate action. So that is one pastime referred here. And when Yatharka, Arka means sun. So there is another story of Vindhumali demon, which is narrated by Prabhupada in his purport. So telling the similarity of the fear of Ashwatthama towards Arjuna. So that's what is told by Vishwanath. That is quoted by Srila Prabhupada. Text 90. Yeah, please read.
When the son of the Brahmana, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra nuclear weapon.
Yeah. So he is called here as Dvijatmaja. So he thought that my horses are tired now, so I have to save my life. So he decided to use Brahmastra. But he is called here Dvijatmaja. Means what? He is called not Dvija because of his wrong decision. Although he was designated as Brahmana, being a son of Brahmana, great Brahmana, Dronacharya, but here he is addressed as son of a Brahman. Means what? Or Brahma Bandhu, a friend of a Brahman or son of Brahman. These words are very respectful addresses to people who are not at the right qualification of their designation. They might be designated as Brahmanas, or they call themselves Brahmanas, but their decisions show that they are not qualified as Brahman. So Prabhupada takes this point and explains that how the court's judge son cannot become court judge without studying the law. So that's what this purport or the next purport Prabhupada says that. Right? So Brahmana is the most intelligent man. It is not a hereditary title. Since Ashwatthama's decision is immature, he is purposefully called here in son of Brahmana. So actually, that's why who we are is what decisions we take at the spur of the moment. It is not about what are our designations. No, right decisions are taken at right time. That is what depicts who are we actually. So, text 20. Yeah, please read the translation.
Since his life was in danger, he touched the water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons.
Yeah. So this is another his disqualification, that he had half knowledge. So he started doing achaman and all, and he started meditating, but he didn't know how to retract it. So this is his misuse of his power, which was taught by Dronacharya out of his attachment actually. So that's what is happening here. Text 21. Yeah, please read. What happened when he sent the Brahmastra? Yes, Prabhu, please continue. One person can continue. A lot of time.
Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger, and so he began to address
Lord Krishna. Yeah. So he has sent Brahmastra without knowing how to retract it. So which has caused a lot of effulgence, teja, sarvato disham, all the direction. So Arjuna became fearful. Abhipreksha Vishnum Jishnum Uvachaha Prana Apadam. So he saw that kind of fire, and then he expressed his emotions to Krishna. So very beautiful prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam are coming. These are actually in one sense first prayers by any character in Srimad Bhagavatam. Earlier there were prayers by Suta Goswami to Shukadeva Goswami. The two verses actually, which end before starting Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but if you see the prayers by any devotee or character of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the first prayer. And you see the content of the prayer. Very, very beautiful prayers of Arjuna are there. So, Arjuna's prayers begin. So, how are these prayers? Let us see the bird's eye view of prayers. So, prayers are nothing but the heart of Shiva. The most confidential aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam are there in the prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, what are these prayers? Let us see. So, Arjuna's prayers, first prayers. So, Prastutam Vijnapayitum Pratham Stauti Krishneti Chaturbhi. So, in 4 verses, Siddhartha Swami is saying that Arjuna is glorifying Krishna in 3 verses, and then in 4th verse, he is Prastutam, he is expressing his request. So, first he is glorifying Krishna, Prathamam Stauti. But that glorification or stuti is done with the desire to express his request after that. So from 22, 23, 24, 25. So 4 verses are glorifying Krishna, Stauti, and 26th verse is going to Arjuna is going to express his request that what is this fire? Please help me. So that's what is the cultured way of approaching the Supreme Law. So we will see in Prabhupada purport, he will mention this. So what is the prayer content? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. So 22nd verse, he is telling that, my dear Lord, you are so glorious. You award fearlessness to your devotees. So you deliver devotees from this fire of material existence. So for you, what is this small fire? So that is the intention. You are deliverer from the greatest fire, forest fire of material existence, which cannot be destroyed by anything. So that is the intention of the 22nd verse. Then 23rd verse speaks the Lord's position. And so this is a very, very profound verse, which is quoted as a reference in all entire Srimad Bhagavatam and many places, because Arjuna is understanding who is Krishna as Bhagavan. How Krishna as Bhagavan has nothing to do with material world in one sense, because he is ecstatic along with his internal energies and in devotees in spiritual world. So Lord's position is explained in verse number 23rd, very important verse. That is 23rd verse. And then 24th verse, having expressed Lord's position and his internal and external energies and his position in Kaivalya Sthita Atmani. In spiritual world, you are enjoying bliss along with your devotees. Still, that Lord appears in the material world. Why he appears? That is next 2 verses, 24 and 25. Reasons of Lord's appearance for avoiding dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is beginning understanding of Lord, why Lord appears. But the most confidential reason of Lord's appearance is also revealed by Arjuna. That is for giving bliss to his pure devotees. For the sake of meditation of pure devotees. For the sake of discussion. So same thing is told by Kunti Maharani also, which we will discuss. So this is what is his Krishna's glorification. And then 26th verse, he expresses his request. So you see, Krishna Janma Karma is and his position and his potency is the essential aspect of prayers of the great souls in Srimad Bhagavatam, by which they take shelter of Krishna, knowing who is Krishna. So Prabhupada time and again tells us, recently so many last 4 or 5 weeks when I was there, Prabhupada lectures were prayed on this 4.9 verse on Thursdays. Prabhupada is again and again telling, just try to understand Krishna, that's all. So that is very important. So let us go into the beautiful prayers, having seen the overview of it. So Arjuna prays, the first verse. So I already told you this link, which is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. Arjuna uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Tanama Bhayankara Tvameko Dayyamananam Apayo Vargosi Samsmrute. Please read the translation.
Arjuna said, O my Lord, Sri Krishna, you are the almighty personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to instill fearlessness in the heart of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only.
Yeah. So he is saying Krishna Krishna. So two times it is out of great affection and shelter. Two times word is used. Krishna Krishna. Mahabaho, greatly powerful, almighty. Why? Bhaktanam abhayankara. So he gives the charity of abhay to his devotees. So this is the greatest charity of fearlessness. This is one symptom of a devotee who is progressing in his bhakti, that he becomes fearless. Because Krishna awards that fearlessness. Bhaktanam abhayankara. Tvameko dayyamananam. You are the only one. Apavargosi samsrute. You give apavarga to dayyamanana. Dayyamanana means those who are burning in the ocean of, rather ocean or forest fire of material existence. You award them liberation from samsara. Or we say na samsara dava nalalida loka. Right? So this is what point Prabhupada takes in his purport. That we pray this first verse. So Krishna's mercy comes through spiritual master. That's what Prabhupada says in his purport. And he explains this. Samsprute dayyamanana means what? The material existence is compared with forest fire. So forest fire is not created by anyone, but it just happens. Bamboos rub against each other because of the wind and it happens. So this is what is the nature of this world. And only by hearing the rainwater of the cloud of spiritual master, which is taking the water from ocean of Krishna's qualities, that water only can extinguish this fire of this material world. So this is what Prabhupada tells in his purport, if you see carefully. So that's what is about this purport. So you can see he explains about material existence is like blazing fire, etc. But which can be extinguished by mercy of Lord Krishna. But how to get mercy of Lord Krishna? That is, spiritual master is Krishna Kripamurti. We say, no? So read this last statement.
The spiritual master, this one, Rohi? Last green.
Yes, so please.
The spiritual master, by his words, can penetrate into the heart of suffering person and inject knowledge transcendental, which alone can extinguish the fire of material existence.
Yeah. So this is what is very, very essential, actually. That words of spiritual master actually can address this fire. No one else can address this fire, which is burning. And many times we don't want to show also there is a fire. We want to hide the fire, which is there inside. But what is this fire? Why it is created? Like earlier also we discussed that what is ocean of material existence made up of? So we discussed it is desire, material desires. So same is the case. This fire is nothing but material desires. But the dreamy desires create deadly distress and depression and even disease. But from where these dreamy desires come from? That's what we saw earlier also. That the designations or upadhis. We saw the 5 layers of avidya, which are created by Maya to Yaya Sammo Hito Jiva. So this dust of designation is what creates the desires. And that's what gives us, they only rub against each other and creates lot of distress and depression and disease and disappointments among relationships, etc. So that's why this will be addressed only by the pure message coming from the spiritual master. Prabhupada is saying inject, penetrate into heart. And they inject. Can you imagine? Injection works very quickly because it directly goes to the problem. Very quickly it goes to the blood and it is circulated. Similarly, the words of spiritual master are extremely important to actually get rid of this fire. That's what Prabhupada is telling. So Prabhupada tells elsewhere, just one statement you can see here. Yeah, please read this. In your leisure, you please read this purport. Very nice purport. Adi Leela 1.60 purport. Yeah, please read this.
Chaitanya, unless one get this spiritual encouragement by following the instruction of the spiritual master, it is not possible to make advancement. Therefore, one's development of a test for executing this instruction is the test of one's devotional service.
Yeah, so this particular purport explains more clearly about the effect of what should be internal effect on when we are trying to apply the instruction of spiritual. So he's telling that this internal spiritual encouragement is the only way to progress in bhakti. Otherwise, it is not possible. And that is the taste we develop for executing the instruction is the test. Is the test of our devotional service. So that's what is apavargosis samsmriti. So Prabhupada is bringing it to a very important personal application. So that's why we discussed. Now Krishna may say, "Are what you are saying, man? I am your cousin. I am equal to you. I am your friend. We keep on talking to each other, playing with each other. Do not speak like this, Arjuna." So Arjuna replies, "My dear Krishna, you may be my friend, but I know your position." So this is the important verse which I was saying. Krishna's position is clearly known to Arjuna. Text 23. So you can repeat after me, keeping yourself muted. Tomadhyah purushah sakshat.
Tomadhyah purushah sakshat.
Ishwarah prakrute paraha.
Ishwarah prakrute paraha.
Mayah vyadasya chichaktya.
Mayam yudasya chichaktya.
Kaivalye sthita atmani.
Kaivalye sthita atmani.
Please read the translation.
You are the original personality of Godhead who expands himself all over the creation and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of material energy by dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge.
Yeah. So this verse, Tom Adya, my dear Krishna, you might be my friend and cousin, but you are not just that. You are Adi Purusha, Adya Purusha. You are the original Purusha. Sakshad Ishvara. You are the actual controller. And not just like demigods, they are also Ishvara, they also control. But you are Ishvara Prakrute Paraha. You are beyond the Prakriti. Then Arjuna, Krishna may say, okay, when you say Prakrute Para, does it mean ignorance? I am beyond ignorance. So Arjuna says, you are not just beyond ignorance or avidya. You are Mayam Yudasya Chichaktya Kaivalye Sthita Atmani. Means you are not just beyond avidya, you are beyond Maya, which is comprising of Vidya, Avidya and Pradhan, which we saw earlier, right? Maya or external energy has three functions of Vidya, Avidya and Pradhan, the gross matter. The Avidya, 5 coverings, and Vidya, the 4 processes by which the coverings are removed. But my dear Lord, you are Maya Vyudasya Chichaktya. Means you are keeping aside that Maya which is comprised of Vidya, Avidya and Pradhan. You are Kaivalya Sthita Atmani. You are situated in eternal knowledge and bliss by dint of your internal potency. Chit Shaktya. By Chit Shaktya, you are situated always in Kaivalya. Kaivalya Sthita Atmani. Means you are situated in your eternal position. Bliss. Kaivalya here means the position of eternal knowledge and bliss. So this Kaivalya word is very much attractive to Mayavadis. So see, in the very first prayer of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mayavadis refuted. Clear-cut words are coming. Maya vidasya chitchaktya. Kaivalya. What is this Kaivalya? Kaivalya means Lord is situated along with his internal energy, relishing the pastimes. He has nothing to do with material world. He has cast aside the external energy and he is in the spiritual world. So this is understanding of Bhagavan feature of Lord. It is not a Paramatma feature, it is not Brahman. Brahman means understanding the potencies, how the material world is working. Paramatma is understanding of how the Lord is God, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer of the material world. But Bhagavan understanding means Bhagavan is enjoying in the spiritual world with Chit Shakti. So that is what is revealed in the very first prayer, very clearly by Arjuna. What is the position of Krishna? He is situated as Bhagavan along with his Chit Shakti and the associates. So Prabhupada writes all these points in his purports, and especially he emphasizes on the variety aspect. So let us see that variety aspect. So I am trying to summarize the purport and then go to the purport, so you can refer them at leisure. So just one point to say here is that what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells about Antaranga Shakti and Bahiranga Shakti. So these both are Lord Shakti only. But what is the difference? So he gives one analogy of a king. So king has his queens and there is a principal queens and there are some maid servants. So maid servants also serve Krishna and queens also serve Krishna. And principal queen also serves Krishna. But maid servants are not there always staying in the inner chambers along with the king. Whereas the principal queen or principal queens are with the king in his inner chambers. So principal queen is compared to Chit Shakti. So Lord is present with Chit Shakti and his expansions and varieties of so many devotees. That is there in inner chambers, that is Gorak Vrindavan. But in this material world, the external energy is like the maid servant Maya, which is staying outside the palace actually. She is also serving, sometimes she comes like. So he gives some indication of understanding this Chit. And he says she is unfortunate because of external Shakti. Because she has to be remaining away from you. So Lord pacifies the external energy by coming in the material world. That also is. So yeah. So let us go to. So Prabhupada quotes fully from Jiva Goswami's purport. So first he tells about the best means to get out of world of ignorance is suggested. The world of ignorance was there in the previous verse, right? The Yamana. What is the best way to get out? Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya. That's what Prabhupada begins the purport with. And if there is Krishna, there is no question of darkness. So darkness means external energy, world, and light means internal energy, spiritual world. So Prabhupada here quotes Jiva Goswami saying that these three aspects of absolute truth I already narrated to you, that the all-pervasive feature of the Lord is manifested in the material world, which is called Brahman. Then there is Paramatma feature, but highest feature is what? He is the absolute personality of Godhead. He has nothing to do with the action and reactions of material manifestation because he is far above the material creation. Kaivalye sthita atmani mayam vidasya chichaktya. So far above material creation is that keeping Maya aside, he is situated in the spiritual world. So Prabhupada is telling darkness is a perverse representation of the sun. Therefore, existence of darkness depends on existence of sun. But in the sun proper, there is no trace of darkness. So this already we saw earlier. The point here is that even the external energy is existing Because of the internal energy. Because of the sun only darkness exists, right? The very darkness, the terminology comes because of sun. Where sunshine is not there, that is dark. So that's what is told here. And what is Kaivalya, how it is refuting Mayavad philosophy is because Kaivalya word they like very much. So what is meaning of that? He is not only full of bliss, but also full of transcendental variegatedness. Transcendence is not at all static, but full of dynamic variegatedness. He is distinct from material nature, which is complicated by the three modes of material nature. So Prabhupada is addressing to the Brahmavadis here that they also see Brahmananda bliss. No. That is very static, only existence pleasure. Here Arjuna is not talking about that Kaivalya which you think that it is Kaivalya. The real meaning of Kaivalya is that Chit Shaktya, Lord is enjoying along with dynamic variegatedness in the spiritual world, where it is varieties are spoken. So this same thing Brahmaji, after realizing Brahma Viman Leela, he says the same thing. Prapancha nishprapanchopi vidambayasi bhutale. Prapanna janata sandoham prathitum prabhu. So sandoham means, my dear Lord, you have varieties of ways to please your devotees, and that's why you come in this matter. So that's the point. He enjoys with his Chit Shakti with all varieties. So this is how Arjuna is telling the true position of Krishna. Going further, now the next two verses, as I mentioned, why did such Krishna, who is enjoying in the spiritual world along with Chit Shakti, has to come here in this jail of material world? That is explained by Arjuna by telling the merciful nature of Krishna. So that is why Krishna appears in the material world. Sa eva jiva lokasya maya mohita chetasah tat sve svena viryena shreyo dharmadi lakshanam. Yeah, please read the translation. And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of liberation characterized by the religion and so on for the ultimate good of the conditioned souls. So, sa eva. So, sa eva means, the Prabhupada also saying, though you are beyond purview of material energy, so sa eva means that Supreme Lord which who is always with Chit Shakti, that same Lord appears in the material world. Jiva lokasya. Why he comes? For Maya mohita chetasaha, people, to award them shreyo. Shreyas means for their ultimate good, you come and perform this dharma or kam moksha. So you teach. So this is one reason which is given by the Arjuna here in this particular verse. Vidatsve. He himself comes and teaches in Dwarka how to live like an ideal grahast, right? He teaches in Gurukul how to live like ideal Gurukuli, right? So he teaches. So this is one reason he comes out of mercy for the people who are affected by that Maya, his Maya. It's external energy. So that's what. So Prabhupada focuses on this point of being Lord being out of causeless mercy, he comes to reclaim. The Lord descends to eradicate this false sense of enjoyment and thus reclaim the conditioned soul back to Godhead. That is the all merciful nature of the Lord for the fallen souls. Further, more reason is given, and the main reason comes at the end. Text 25. Tathayam chavataraste go bharaji hirshaya swanam chananya bhavanam nudhyanaya cha sakrut. Please read the translation.
Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are constantly wrapped in meditation upon you.
Yeah. So having spoken about Lord's appearance in this world in different avatars, in previous verse, this particular avatar specifically spoken. Tatha ayam avataraste. Ayam means what I am seeing in front of me right now. Krishna's avatar. Why he has come? Go bhava jivirshaya. Because Brahmaji and Kamsa has created so many problems. So you have appeared to remove the burden on earth who had come in form of cow trying to Brahma. So that is another reason. But what is the ultimate reason? Swanam cha ananya bhavanam anudhyanaya chasakrit. So this is the main purpose of the Supreme Lord coming in the material. See, when Lord does any activity, there are multiple things he accomplishes in anything he does. Ek tir mein kai shikar. But we have to understand, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are internal reasons and there are external reasons, right? So here Arjuna is revealing the internal reason in last. Same thing Kunti Maharani does. So the main internal reasons of Lord is Swanam cha ananya bhavanam. Those who are your unalloyed devotees, your own people, Swanam, friends, for their asakrut anudhyanaya, to constantly have object of meditation as you appear in this matter. So this is what is told even in Bhagavad Gita when we say paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkutam. So paritranaya sadhunam means what? Sadhus delivering the sadhus. Are sadhus are delivering others. What is need of deliverance of sadhus? So that deliverance means deliverance from the separation which they are feeling from Krishna. So Krishna cannot delegate anyone to deliver them. Not even other avatars. Those devotees who are in separation from Krishna, Krishna has to personally appear here for paritranaya sadhunam. Paritranaya sadhunam means this particular reason, which Baladev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Thakur tell us. So that is the main reason to reciprocate and to deliver the devotees from separation and give them the object of full absorption. Anudhyanaya. Anu means constant, dhanaya means repeated meditation on him. Constant, just sakrut, fully satisfied, Prabhupada is saying. So that is the main reason. Many people say Lord appear by these, that. Arjuna also gave some reason. Kunti also will give many reasons. The main reason is Lord's main reason is reciprocate to and please his pure devotees, unalloyed devotees, ananya devotees. That's what is we see. Braja Jana Ranjana. That's what is his main activity. So that's why he came actually. So that is the main reason. So Prabhupada, quoting Sridhar Swami, says that it appears that Lord is partial to his devotees in this particular, it is by reading, it may appear that Lord is partial, but he says that Lord is not partial. Lord is reciprocally responsive to the devotees. Ye yathamam prabhat. So if one is reciprocation according to the person is not partiality actually. So that's what is told here. More inclined to people who are looking for him is not his partiality. He has given that open invitation to everyone, that everyone can become my mother. I can think my mother in the sense that mood. Everyone can dance with me. Everyone can become friend with me and play with me. And this is the process. It's open for everyone. So that is his showing of impartiality. So that's what is told in this particular verse. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshasti na priya. But yo bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi teteshu cha. The same mood is expressed by Arjuna here. Understanding, he being the Ananya Bhakta, he understands the heart of the Lord, why he has appeared. So he is equal to everyone, yet he is more inclined to his own men and devotees. As mentioned above, the Lord is above and the modes of material nature. Thus, there is nothing mundane about his kinsman and relation in devotion. So Prabhupada is establishing the fact that Lord's interaction with Brajvasis as friends, parents, and lovers, this is not on material level. It has nothing mundane about the relations. The Lord is reciprocally responsive. That is not the partiality of Lord. So that these conclusions are revealed by Arjuna in his wonderful prayers. And now, with this cultured stuti, Lord, he is expressing his request, matter at hand. Text 26. Please read the translation.
O Lord of Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand it.
Yeah. So now he is expressing. Kimidam, what is this Deva Deva? I don't know. Vedam, na Vedamyaham. I don't know. Why I don't know? So Acharyas tell that actually Arjuna knows. Next verse we'll see. Sarvato mukham ayati. Everywhere there is Teja. So I am not able to understand. So actually Arjuna was knowing how Brahmastra appears and how it has to be retracted. But in this case, this fellow, Ashwatthama, because he didn't know how to retract, so when the Brahmastra was sent, the effect was all over the place. That's why Arjuna was unable to know. Because Arjuna knew Brahmastra, how it looks, how it comes, but when it is sent by a proper person. But this fellow has half knowledge. That's why it has created heat in all directions. That's what some acharyas comment, right? So he is taking shelter of Lord in difficulty. Yeah. So Prabhupada says this cultured request. Arjuna is teaching us, Prabhupada says. See, Arjuna, although intimate friend, so he doesn't have to do this. Lord, he is observing this method for general information, means for all of us. So this is the standard procedure. So when we go in front of Lord, we should first offer prayers. And there are two kinds of prayers told in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Those who are offered by great devotees. So Vaishnava songs are there and Bhagavatam prayers are there. They are the prayers which we can try to recite. And our own prayers, our own conditions and what is our expressing our requests, etc. That can come, but first should be glorification of the Lord. So that is what is the proper culture approach of the Supreme Lord or his deity and prayer. So now Lord replies, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Vethedam Drona Putrasya Brahmamastram Pradarshitam Naivaso Veda Samharam Pranabada Upasthite. Yeah, please read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Know from me that this is the act of the son of Drona. He has thrown the hymns of nuclear energy, Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of the imminent death."
Yeah. So Lord is telling, Vethatvam. You know, Arjuna, you have used this. You have learned from Dronacharya. How did you know? How did you don't know? This is Brahmastra only. Pradarshitam word is telling this. Are you are seeing? How you are seeing? I don't know. This is Brahmastra only. Then why it is appearing not like Brahmastra? Because everywhere light is coming, not in one direction only. So he says, no. This fellow, he doesn't know how to retract it. And then why did he send? Because he wants to save his own life. So this is all context is revealed by Krishna being Paramatma in heart of Ashwatthama. Krishna is revealing the situation to Arjuna after taking shelter. So because Krishna knows what is happening exactly, so he revealed it to Arjuna. Yeah, go further. So Prabhupada actually on this purports actually takes a point to glorify the subtleties of the Vedic sciences, Vedic subtle material sciences over the current gross nuclear bombs, which are so primitive. So that way Prabhupada's mood is in all these purports. He glorifies what kind of technology was present at that time. So Prabhupada tells that atomic bond is too gross, whereas material Brahmastra is subtle type of weapon produced by chanting hymns. But that is also material. The subtle science of chanting hymns is also material, but it has yet to be known by the modern material scientists. So Prabhupada is telling they don't know this science. So subtle material science is not spiritual, but it has direct relationship with the spiritual method, which is still subtler. So that's what Prabhupada tails actually. So his practice was wrong. So Prabhupada is condemning the act of Ashwatthama. Although Dronacharya was great soul, Ashwatthama was doing improper. His decision and action was improper. So he was Brahmana's son. Text 28. Yeah, please read the translation.
O Arjun, only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon. Since you are expert in the military science, subdue this weapon's glare with the power of your own weapon.
Yeah, so Arjuna may say, okay, this is fire. This is Brahma. He has sent a fire weapon, Brahmastra, and he doesn't know how to retract. So should I send Varuna water weapon? Krishna says, no. Pratyavakarshanam. You have to send another Brahmastra only. You cannot send Varunastra. Here you have to send only another Brahmastra can counteract this weapon, not Varunastra. So that's what is conversation which is happening given by the Acharya. And you know it, how to do it. You are not like that fellow, you know how to send it and how to retract it also. So subdue it with another Brahmastra. That's what is instruction by Krishna. So Prabhupada, as I told you, same mood, he is telling, see, these gross weapons have no method to counter weapon and neutralize the effect. Brahmastra has. Yeah. Read the translation, text 29. Srila Sud Goswami said, hearing this from the personality of Godhead, Arjuna touched water for purification, and after circumambulating Lord Krishna, he cast his Brahmastra weapon to counteract the other one. So he did that, See how peaceful he is. He is doing Achaman, he is doing circumambulation, and then he is acting. See, this is his faith in Krishna. This is in faith in the process of devotional service. This is in faith. There is no fear in him after hearing from Krishna. Although earlier there was some indication of fear. Right? Yeah. Text 30. Now, please read the translation quickly.
When the rays of the two Brahmastra combined, a great circle of fire, like the disk of the sun, covered all outer space and the whole firmaments of planets.
So imagine the power of two Brahmastras. So it has effect all over the 14 worlds. So that's what is subject matter of the next two verses. What was the effect on the entire world? Yeah. So Prabhupada says that this bomb has insignificant effect on one globe. But see, this Brahmastra has effect on cosmic situation. So that's what is told. Text 31. Please continue to same.
All the population of the three worlds was scorched by the combined heat of the weapons. Everyone was reminded of the Samvartika fire, which takes place at the time of annihilation.
Yeah. So Samvartaka clouds are also there and Samvartaka fire is also there. That's what we understand from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada again takes a punch. You see that there are living entities all over the universe and they are getting affected by Brahmastra on earth. So only less intelligent person think that there is no living beings else. Text 32. Yeah, please read.
Thus, seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destruction of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons, as Lord Krishna desired.
Yeah, so here what comes? Matam cha Vasudevasya Sanjahara Arjunodvayam. So he sent it and seeing the influence, Lord said, now you retract. So now you retract. So this Prabhupada takes this Matam cha Vasudevasya and says that, see, you cannot even destroy this world without will of Lord. What to speak of creating anything in this? Without will of Lord, you cannot create anything or create any world, or without will of Lord, you cannot even destroy. There is doomsday and there are so many theories that the world will get destruction because of the pollution and all these things. But destruction of world also happens by the will of Lord. So that is what is Prabhupada is criticizing it as a childish imagination. That can annihilate the world is childish imagination. Without his will or sanction, nothing can be built up, nothing can be destroyed. So whim of tiny politicians, if they think that we will send this, no. It cannot happen without will of Lord. Although all will have atomic weapons, without will of Lord, even destruction also cannot happen. Yeah. So similarly, there are many agents of the all-powerful Lord, and by his will only one can execute what he desires. So you can just desire, that's all. Nothing more can be done. Everything happens by will of Lord. Text 33. Yeah.
Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger, like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an
So, ropes like an animal. Yeah. So having retracted everything, now Ashwatthama was completely helpless. So Arjuna caught him because Arjuna was constantly empowered by Krishna. So he caught him and like rope, like an animal, he bound him. Now, interestingly, here the word is used, Tamraksh. So Arjuna was very angry, remembering the face of his beloved devotee wife, Draupadi. He was extremely angry. So his eyes are red, like copper. Right? So he, Gautami Sutam. So he bound him like an animal. So now, interestingly, Krishna will speak few verses to test Arjuna. Those are the next verses. Yeah, text 34. Yeah, please. Shiviraya nishinantam rajva badhvari pumbalat praharjanam prakupito bhagwanam mujikshanaha. Read.
After binding Ashwatthama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to Arjuna in an angry mood.
Yeah. So, interestingly, Krishna is also spoken as angry, prakupito. But his Bhagwan Ambujakshana, still his lotus eyes only, not Tamra eyes. So, this is the inconceivable Shakti of Lord, that while being angry also is very beautiful. That's what Prabhupada writes in his purport. And here spoke to Arjuna in an angry mood. So basically, what was Krishna's desire is told by Acharyas. So with anger, he told, now you kill this Ashwatthama here only. Why you are carrying him there? So Krishna speaks many verses. What is the purpose of Krishna is given by the Acharyas, and Sud Goswami also will give at the end. Evam Parikshita Rajan means to test Arjuna's sense of dharma, his maturity in understanding dharma. Lord angrily spoke and instilled him to kill, because that was, if you see, according to dharma, it is not right action. But Arjuna is here instilled by Krishna just to show to the world the right sense of justice of Arjuna. Arjuna is my devotee, and see what is his sense of justice is so sharp and so refined to display to the whole world the glory of his devotee and understanding of dharma of his devotee. He is speaking next few verses, which will go today and end. So very quickly we'll go through them, understanding the principle why Krishna is doing this. Yeah, so see, immediately Acharya tells, Krishna speaks strongly in 5 verses, 35 to 39, to Arjuna, who was filled with lamentation and anger, to show the world Arjuna's standard of justice. Though Krishna was angry, he is still described as lotus-eyed. Thus, his anger was only external. So his anger was not real anger, but he wants to show, to instill Arjuna to kill. So that is what is the importance of this verse. So Prabhupada says those things on. So now let us go through these verses, very beautiful verses. 35 to 39, expressing his anger externally. So Lord is telling all kinds of reasons from scriptures so that Arjuna, instructing Arjuna to kill him. Just as Arjuna, actually, interestingly, Arjuna in the second chapter of, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita are telling all the reasons from scriptures that how I will not fight, and that is correct. Similarly, Krishna is speaking from all scriptural point of view to tell him to kill Brahmana, although it is wrong actually. So this is interesting exchange between Lord and his devotee. So text 35. Yeah. Mainam partha harasitra tum brahma bandhum jahi imam jahi yo savanagasa suptan avadhin nishibalakan.
Lord Shri Krishna said, "O Arjun, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahmana, Brahma Bandhu, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep."
Yeah. So first thing he is telling that he is Brahma Bandhu, he is not Brahmana. See, scriptures are speaking about Brahmana. He is not a Brahmana. Why? Because he has inappropriately acted. He has killed the sleeping sons of you, 5 sons. So actually, sleeping means, here the acharyas tell us the meaning. Sleeping means they were actually sleeping and they just got up. Actually, when this Duryodhana, not Duryodhana, Ashwathama had this plan of killing. So this is explained in Mahabharata in detail. So Krutavarma and one more was there. So he expressed the desire to them. He saw some bird killing the eggs quickly. So he got this idea, evil idea. So he expressed this to Krutavarma and all. They didn't agree, but they followed him. So he killed Drishtadyumna while he was sleeping, and then these all sons are killed. So actually they were factually not sleeping, they just got up. But it's not appropriate to fight for a Kshatriya. So that's why it is called sleeping. Secondly, Balakan. Actually they were not Balak. Balak means very less age. Actually they were all youths and they were having great powers actually. So Balakan here, the word is telling that they were worthy of showing protection because they were sons of his god brother actually, in the sense of Arjuna, Bhima, all these are his god brothers, right? Their sons means they are affection and protection is expected from Ashwathama, but Ashwathama is killing the sons. So that's why these words are used. That's why you should kill it. And then next verse, Krishna tells that, yeah, so this point I already told that hereditary, High Court judge sons cannot become judge. So same point Prabhupada is telling. Brahma Bandhu. Text 36. Mattam pramattam anmattam suptam balam striyam jadam prapanna vedatham vitam naripu hanti dharmavit.
A person who knows the principle of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid or devoid of his chariot, nor does he kill a boy, a woman, a foolish creature, or a surrendered soul.
So now Krishna is telling Shastric reference for atatais. If one is doing these things, then he can be killed dharmavit. Ripum haranti dharmavit. If you are knower of dharma, Arjuna, you should kill because he is coming in this one of the category. Rather, not one category, he is coming in all the categories. He has done all these things for you. He means he and Duryodhana have done all these things for you. Poisoning and all these things, right? Or taking away wife, etc. Everything he has done. So you are dharmavit, then you should kill. So that's the first request of Krishna. So Prabhupada glorifies dharma yuddha, those times there was religious codes of war and they were followed. But nonsense, non-violence is not admitted, not recommended in scripture. So that's how Prabhupada ends. Violence carried out with religious principles is far superior to so-called non-violence, which is current day expressed to some terrorists. Some people of human rights foolishly say that they should not be killed if they are also humans. They don't understand the soul, right? So that's what Prabhupada write in the next purport, text 37. Yeah, please read the translation.
A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' lives deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he will go down by his own actions.
Yeah, so now Krishna is coming to another argument. My dear Arjuna, if you are wanting to do his hit, if you want to do his well, you are well wishing for him, then you should kill him, because otherwise he will go to hell. Tad vadhas tasya hi shreyo. You should kill him for his benefit. So this is the next principle which is being told. So Prabhupada explains the life for life punishment of the kings of the past was very correct, because they will not go to hell. Rather, sometimes such dangerous criminals who have killed others, they go to even heaven also. So Prabhupada glorifies that process of life for life, and how on the spiritual journey it is helpful, because he takes birth without the sinful reaction. So this is all explained by Prabhupada in a big purport here, I think. Yeah, so you can see that. And then Prabhupada, out of great compassion of his heart, he writes about killer of animals is also very, very dangerous. Killing animals is also inappropriate. So Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada uses this word political morality. Political morality will be clearly understood only when people will understand the scriptures. So that's what. So Prabhupada comes to the principle of killing animals also. So he explains with great compassion that how dangerous, heinous act is this killing, and who all who are involved in the action of this slaughterhouse and selling and everything. These all are given in italics. You see, all these people who are giving permission, the government permitting, the one who kills, one who sells the slaughtered animals, one who cooks, one who administers distribution, one who eats, they are all affected by the sinful reaction. So no one has right to kill any living beings by whims. So, and Prabhupada concludes with the purport by saying that currently all the things are happening because of the sins. Famines, the corona, everything, pestilence. So he gives the scientific reason of the current sufferings towards the end. Text 38. Now Krishna says that because you promised Draupadi, you should kill him. Yeah. So furthermore, I have personally heard your promise to Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of the sun. So you should kill. See how Krishna is putting his case very powerfully. Text 39. This man is an assassin and murderer of your own family members. Not only that, but he has also dissatisfied his master. He is but the burnt remnants of his family. Kill him immediately. Last argument. So according to Dharma, you should kill. For his benefit, you should kill. To follow your promise to Draupadi, you should kill. And this fellow is such a useless fellow that he has not even pleased his master, Duryodhana. So he is burnt remnants of his family. So you should kill him. So that's why Kulapam Sanaha. That's how this Krishna is testing Arjuna's sense of justice by telling such a powerful reason. So Sud Goswami, Suta Uvacha, Evam Parikshita Dharmam, Partha Krishnena Choditaha, Naichadhantum Guru Sutam, Yatapyat Mahanam Mahan. Yeah, please read the translation.
Although Krishna, who was examining Arjuna in religion, encouraged Arjuna to kill the son of Dronacharya, Arjuna, a great soul, did not like the idea of killing him, although Ashwatthama was a heinous murderer of Arjuna's family members.
Yeah, so Arjuna, being extremely intelligent and devoted to Krishna, Arjuna could understand that this is inappropriate. So that's how Krishna tested him and Arjuna passed the test. So this is a very important verse. So it's already 5:05. So we will continue the rest of chapter, and maybe in around 1 hour mostly we'll complete in the next session. So purport of this verse is very important. I will not enter into the purport right now, because we have not, if anyone has any comment, question, clarification on what we discussed, we may have it for maybe 5 minutes officially. If anyone has anything. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Shobha Lakshmi Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, this is a like practical thinking, but they always carried the water for Achaman. Means because they did Achaman and then they chanted for the Brahmastra.
So, yeah, what is the question actually?
Means they all, even during the war or like whenever they always carried the water for Achaman.
It seems like that. What a word used is he touched the water, no? Upasprishya. So technically it means that he purified himself. So, details are not mentioned anywhere. So there are multiple ways of purifying actually. Mantra is also one way of purifying, but here it is clearly mentioned that upasprishya. So it appears that by some means he did that, but exactly it is not described. Because same thing was done even by Ashwatthama also, isn't it? Ashwatthama also did that. He sat in meditation. Because it is said that Brahmastra sending you required qualification of chanting some 10 crore Gayatri mantras before. That kind of purity is required to fully exercise full power of sending Brahmastra and retracting Brahmastra. So this qualification was not there with Ashwatthama. But he also did such kind of achaman actually. So clearly, directly is not mentioned, Mataji. What I understood.
And Prabhuji, Arjuna also circumambulated Krishna. So how did he get so much time?
Yeah, so actually means he knew that he knew the Brahmastra, right? So he knew how much time it will take for Brahmastra to act. So he followed the culture, he followed the etiquette. He just didn't act out of, reason or reacted. He followed all etiquettes of action and speech because he took shelter of Krishna, had faith on Krishna and Krishna's protection, and he knew power of Brahmastra also. So that way he had time, like that. Yes. Okay. Yashika Mataji, you had anything?
Prabhuji, actually, it's a clarifying question.
Little
Prabhuji,
louder you can speak.
Okay, yes, Prabhuji. As it's a clarifying question, basically, Prabhuji. As there are 195 countries in the world, and around 190 countries have Krishna devotees. So Prabhupada here, he has been mentioning that Indians should take the responsibility to, to
Seriously understand the Krishna
Krishna consciousness and teach to the world. And as there are other foreigner devotees also, so will they also be considered as Indians, or as they are practicing Krishna consciousness?
Yes. So actually, what Prabhupada is doing is what Mahaprabhu spoke. Actually, Prabhupada is not writing, but Bharat Bhumite Manushya Janmaya. So this is spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. So there is a inherent responsibility for a person who takes birth in Bharatvarsh, because it is not common. The Shastra, actually, we might have got just like that. Sure enough, we have done something, that's why we are taking birth in Bharatvarsh. So that entitles us with this kind of responsibility. Because we have taken birth in a Punya Bhumi, where the Supreme Lord appears, performs pastimes. So there is a responsibility for all of us, whether we, maybe earlier we were not knowing. So this is one thing we have to understand, even literally. Those who take birth here have some past piety by which they are taking birth here. Okay, so there is some credit and there is some privilege. So with privilege come responsibility. So that's what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. So this is a literal meaning of the thing. And when it comes to devotees who are there out of the world, but they are practicing Krishna consciousness, so naturally they also come in this particular category only, right? Because they are coming to know about bhakti from Srila Prabhupada. Or in other words, we can say they also become Dvija, right? They take another birth by accepting spiritual master. Right? So they practically take another birth. So that way they also are having responsibility of the same. So Prabhupada does say that also, that this is not just Prabhupada, or I think Prabhupada disciple, I don't fully remember. That it is not that this is only meant for Indians, for all the devotees. And then it was mentioned that actually now India has also become Western only, right? Isn't it? So that is another side of the story. That way, basically, in essence, it means all the devotees who have committed in Krishna consciousness movement have this responsibility of seriously understanding two Krishna kathas and realizing it and preaching it all over the world to actually bring about peace and prosperity. So that's what is the Mahaprabhu's desire, which is expressed by Srila Prabhu. Is it okay, Mataji? Is that fine, Mataji? Anyone else has any comment, clarification, question on based on what we discussed? We have to little rush through today because we have to complete the syllabus. Yes. So I'm sorry for that. Okay, so thank you all very much for your patient hearing. So next time we will try to complete the chapter in first 1 hour. In our plan, actually, if you see, just have to show the plan. So we are running little behind. This chapter we had given around 5 hours, I believe. Just showing you the plan so that, yeah, this is the plan. So we had given around 6 hours for this chapter actually. So we have already almost covered 2 classes plus 1 class of 1 hour, right? So we have already covered 5 hours. So for 3 days, for example. So we have another 1 hour. We'll try to complete the chapter so that we can give nice justice to Kunti Maharani's prayers, which is even more than 3 days it is actually. So we'll begin with the next chapter having completed with this plan. So thank you all very much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll end here. Devotee, just please make note that I have sent the dates for OBA and CBA, your open book exam and closed book exam for Unit 3.
That date is what? 9th? Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. 9th July is the OBA deadline, and closed book exam will be 8th July.
Yeah. So in this, in case regarding the OBA, if you have anything to clarify, discuss, ask, so you can mail me if you wish, or ask in the class. This is my mail ID. This is my mail ID, or so I am at your service for whatever you need.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll also share this on WhatsApp. So we'll end here.
Yes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.